Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chats with Friends, the podcast where we talk about important topics in a conversational setting. I'm your host, McElroy, and today we're going to be talking about the Writers Guild of America strike, where the writers were on the front lines. They were battling in negotiations with the industry execs, the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. But guess what? They won out in the end. And what was their big selling point? Social media, the PR aspect. So today we're going to be talking with Alan McElroy, who's had over 40 years of experience in the industry, Bill Wolkoff, who is also in the industry and a strike captain. And then later in the podcast, we are going to be joined with Bob Hopkinson. He is a comms specialist for the WGA, and he's going to talk about the strategic matter in the way that the comms communicated for the WGA and the lack thereof by the studio execs. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Chats with Friends. So I have here with me two very important writing professionals. I will go ahead and give them some introductions. So we'll start with the lovely Bill.
My name is Bill Wolkoff. I have been in the Writers Guild since, as an associate member since 2000, as a full member since 2015. I became a WGA captain in 2019. And a contract captain in that regard. And then in 2023 officially became a strike captain, and wow. I was also a lot coordinator, ran one of the pickets at CBS TV studios. I'm also in television. I mostly write genre. I work with your other guest, Alan McElroy, on a show called Strange New Worlds. I also write a lot in TV animation, so I'm active in both guilds.
My name is Alan McElroy. I am a professional writer, have been writing full-time and been a member of the WGA since, brace yourselves, 1987.
And born.
So I've now been in 3 WGA strikes, the 88 strike, 2008 strike, and then this most recent work stoppage as well. And in my career, I've done movies and television, going all the way back to Halloween 4 was my first movie. I've done TV movies. I've done Rapid Fire with Brandon Lee. That was a great experience working with him. I wrote Spawn the animated series. Wrong Turn, the original, Wrong Turn, the remake, and various projects in between. And now I've moved into television, worked on Vampire Diaries, and now skipping ahead, but currently working on, I worked on Star Trek Discovery, and now I'm working on Strange New Worlds, which it's a life dream for me because I grew up watching Star Trek, and I love this genre.
Oh, that is amazing. And we happen to have the same last name. Why is that?
Well, because this is my daughter.
Yes.
One of my greatest
Well, yes, I definitely have, very personal experience being, the daughter of a writer. I'm going to call you Dad for the rest of the podcast, if that's all right, instead of Alan. Perfect. That's just what I'm used to. But
Alan, I'm still going to call you Alan, if that's okay.
Oh. No, you can call him Dad too.
I'm not going to call you Dad.
We're all friends here. So with being a strike captain, Bill, what are the kind of the duties that involve that?
A strike captain is kind of it's an extension of being a contract captain. When you're a contract captain, you are a kind of a liaison between a team of members that you get assigned to and guild leadership. I think I have 70 people on my team now, and I take it very seriously. Like, you have to have somebody that has your back.
That'll maybe go on to my next question. And then, so kind of how do you hear about these things that come about?
That's the thing, is that the contract is coming to an end. The guild is very good about communication, sending out emails and keeping the membership aware of the situation. Negotiations are coming up, what we're going to be talking about, bringing that to our attention, educating the membership on what the issues are, so that we know what we're going to be facing, what we potentially, if a strike is looming, what we're going to be striking over, and then putting it to the membership to make that decision, which is great. I really feel so well supported by the WGA, and they always keep you informed.
Awesome. So obviously in 2008, social media wasn't as big of a thing. We're going to kind of pivot onto the social media aspect of it. Did you both use social media in your strike? Were you posting on your Instagrams or your TikToks or Facebook or whatever you had?
Definitely. One of the things that I think was very effective is we were all taking pictures. We're all taking pictures on the line, taking pictures of each other, and I think that this built a sense of support because we would share these and it would just spread across the internet, and I think people really got behind us because of that. Also, the three strikes I've been in, this one was by far, I felt, the most support just across the board, across unions, across media. It could be just the way the world is now and the cost of living and people feeling put upon, but you felt this sort of groundswell from the public. They weren't looking at us as like, oh, those writers, people were really supporting us. This strike really, I've never seen it like this before.
We have 30,000 members in the Writers Guild. Members were using their creativity and their writing skills to put a face to what was happening every single day through TikTok. But
Bill is being modest. Bill is being modest because his face showed up so many times on Instagram, also in articles. There'd be an article, and there he would be, or even in news interviews. They're interviewing captains on the line during the strike, and Bill would be interviewed. I will be the first one in line. If Bill ever runs for guild president, he's got my vote.
That is absolutely wonderful. You guys are essentially, the people on the front lines, but these, top dogs, the studio execs that are so, far removed, you guys just totally overpowered them with just, your phones and people's opinions. And that is spectacular. You guys should be so proud of that. When it finally came to pass, how did that feel for you guys?
Yeah, hugely vindicated. I mean, we stuck by our guns. We were united. We had other guilds behind us. I'll still always remember, I think her name is Laura Doherty, that she from I think it was from
Lindsay Doherty.
Yeah, Lindsay. Is it Lindsay?
Yeah,
Lindsay Doherty. My gosh, this woman's speech was almost like a rallying cry for all. She's not even in the WGA, and yet I think we all kind of rallied behind her, because she was saying, basically, oh yeah, we're sticking to our guns and they have no shot. And that's exactly what we were. We were not going to break as long as it took. We stood our ground. There was no dissent. We just stayed firm, and like you said, David and Goliath, we brought down Goliath, which was fantastic.
We all went out that night.
Well, that is beautiful. Guys, I so appreciate you guys joining me today. Again, taking time out of your busy schedules to do this. I mean, we have 3 different time zones on this call right now for everyone. I'm in the UK, so it is the afternoon for me. Dad, it's around lunchtime for you because you are in Canada. And you, Bill, you are bright and early, and well, not bright and early for some people. For me, yes, bright and early in Los Angeles. But it was so great to talk to you guys today. I really appreciate you being on the podcast.
Great job. Sorry, I don't know. I know it's personal.
Thank you.
I second that.
Thank you so much.
Next, we have Bob Hopkinson. He's going to jump right in and tell us about what he does as a comms specialist for the WGA. Let's listen.
Sure. So I'm a communications specialist, and what that generally is it's a lot of like public relations, interfacing with the press on behalf of like an organization or business, and kind of also communicating like the organization's public message, or helping to communicate.
Okay, so all the writers had their social media going on. So did the comms team, did they have any sort of tactic going into it?
I would say that our tactic or our strategy, I feel like it, for the most part, was just to like give members as much information as possible.
Okay. And I feel like, again, it was that two-way communication, at least from what I'm hearing, you know, Bill and my dad talk about, that two-way communication that definitely helped. Obviously, they knew exactly what to say because of you guys. All the public seeing them, that only helped them. Whereas I feel the AMPTP, they really just kind of cast themselves away, kind of. And I feel like in this day and age, that doesn't help. You know, in the new age, everybody just wants to be face to face. And whereas social media wasn't very prevalent in 2008 where they had the strike, now it is. And, you know, hearing those people just on the front lines just helps so much more. Do you feel it's hard because it's like you would think that the execs would know that, you know, but it's clearly something was amiss there.
They did a lot of, they made a lot of like interesting choices, I guess.
Yeah, we can say that to be kind.
Yeah. And I mean, to your point, you know, like the AMPTP itself not ever speaking at all, then they don't have a voice in the story. So then they're leaving their narrative up to others to make up for that, which was another thing that, like, why we wanted to make sure captains and even, you know, like when we put out our negotiating committee members and our leaders out there to talk in interviews, which we did do, not all the time, but we did do it often. You know, it's like the thing is that if we don't have our voice in there, then that's precisely the problem. Our voice is not in there. Someone's making it up for us.
Exactly.
Our members, they are communicators as well. You know, like writings, communications.
They're storytellers.
Yeah, exactly. So narrative and story and all this stuff, this is like what they do. Right. So to kind of just like allow them to have a giant megaphone, which is what Twitter is, you know? I mean, looking at it between 2007 and 2023. Right. It's just like we were able to really harness it because our members are so incredibly loud and impactful. They have like a lot of influence. And this is another one of those things where it's like a communications. There's a public aspect of it, but also too, like from a communication standpoint, like the press is on Twitter.
Yes. Yes, 100%.
Ratings reporters, you know, and again, that's another one of those things, like we're a privileged union, that there's an entire set of publications that are big publications that people read nationally and internationally who write only about our industry, you know, Variety, Hollywood, or Deadline. Yes. So all these like reporters live in this world and they're all on Twitter. Like the reporting ended up being about the conversations on Twitter and on TikTok and on Instagram and something. So like that just was such a, like, it was a kind of like, yes, social media had a huge impact on it, but also like it was the combination of like our members just having so much control over that medium that they could just kind of like fight any kind of counter narrative. Having a good understanding of like this smells like propaganda, or being able to like counter false narrative.
You know, when you think of the comms and the PR world in the future, do you think that definitely social media is going to be a big part of that, and that it, you know, it helps?
Oh yeah, definitely. Just looking at how it was covered, you know, there's not even a lot of pictures from it. This, I mean, like there's millions and millions and millions. I can't even imagine. It's kind of wild. So yeah, I mean, it's just like it really increases the ability of people who maybe like don't typically have like a lot of individual power. They can all come together and kind of harness it. They can combat something like by the richest corporations on the planet.
You know, the underdog did win out in the end, and you know, you guys were definitely such a big help for that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Bob, for talking to me. Again, this is Bob Hopkinson, comms specialist for the WGA. Amazing, amazing job. And I thank you so much. Well, that's all, folks. That was this episode of Chats with Friends. I would really like to thank all of our guests that joined us. They really taught us that the underdogs can win, and never underestimate the power of social media. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for the next one.